What's going on, everybody, and welcome to episode 20 of Bayou Buzz, a prep baseball podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Gowins, joined as always by Prep Baseball Louisiana scouting director Alex Armand. Coach, how we doing today?
Doing good, Coach. A lot better than last week. The
A
weather
little
has
warmer,
warmed
a
up.
little warmer.
A little
Yeah,
warmer, no rain. The sun's out right now, so I'm
yeah.
good.
The energy just seems to be a little better in both states this week.
Oh, Coach, last week was, I know y'all were even worse where you're at because you're farther north. I mean, it
uh,
was bad.
yeah, it was more of let's just get through it than being excited to be out there, but. Good weather this week. Before we get kind of going into the recap of the actual players and games, I know we did a Power 25 update, I think Monday.
Yep.
So let's walk us through that a little bit before we get going today.
Yeah, so look, I'll pull it up here. Shoot, Coach, this is the first time. So last year, from the preseason all the way through our last release of the Power 25, Catholic High held the top spot. And then the preseason release this year and the week one update, they held the top spot. So for the first time in a while, we've got a new number one team in Benton out of North Louisiana.
So we
Um,
that was a 19 episode podcast run of being number one for Cat.
yes, Coach. Yes. Heck of a
Tough record to take down.
hey, heck of a run. It's look, Catholics, they're going to be fine. I'm actually going to see them tomorrow night. I'm going to get to see Benton on Friday and this weekend because they're coming to Lake Charles to play St. Louis. But, Benton was in the top five to start our season, and they've played really well up to this point. They actually picked up a win. I think it was last night or the night before. So they're technically 9-0 now. So they're our new number one team. Catholic High's bumped down to number two. Live Oaks at three. And then you see a run of New Orleans area Catholic League schools with Jesuit, Rummel, and Holy Cross at 4, 5, and 6. Jesuit and Holy Cross being undefeated. Turlings Catholic at 7. Walker at 8. North Shore at 9. Natchitoches Central at 10. That kind of rounds out the top 10. I think, like I said last week, lot of movement in the Power 25. I think that over the next 2 or 3 weeks, as we get into district play, there'll be somewhat more consistency, I guess. But I'll tell you this, Coach, been an interesting year so far, especially with the bigger schools, both on the private and the public side, because even with Benton at 1, right, on the public side, I mean, they're the clear-cut number one right now, but I feel like there's not like a whole lot of separation, which is making it fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one thing that you really notice here at the high school level, you usually get there'd be teams that go undefeated for quite a while. You'll get like a lot, and I'm looking at your list, and out of your top Power 25, 22 of them already have a loss.
Right.
And that I could be wrong. That feels high.
Yes.
That feels like usually at this time we have more than that be undefeated. So uh, I think that's a credit to. I feel like every week we've talked about these teams on this list all playing each other, so credit to them for that. But
Yes.
yeah, just a lot of parity.
Yeah, there's a lot of parity this year. And like I said, at least for our jobs, right? Like I feel like it makes it fun whenever there's not a, consensus top 3 or 4 teams that are just way ahead of the pack, right? Which there's been some years like that, but
Oh, no doubt.
this year's not one of them.
Yeah. Well, it's good. That's pretty good stuff there. Just kind of looking at it.
Look, I'll put it back
Is
up
that the
again.
first time that Barb has not been on this list?
Coach, you had to bring it up. Yes, I believe so. Look, my preseason pick to win state, which we'll see how it works out. They had a rough opening week, right, with a couple of losses, but then last week it just got me. It's high school baseball, I guess, right? Like they they beat Waxahachie, and then they lose to St. Louis Catholic, and then the next day they 10-run rule Concordia with an SEC commit on the mound, and then the
Uh,
next morning they lose to Zachary. Finish the weekend 2-2. I mean, it's wild.
high school kids. High school kids. Um, well, that's fun. So when's the next update for this? Are you doing it every week or every bi-weekly?
I'm doing it every week now, so yeah, we'll update it next week.
Okay, cool. Uh, Perfect. So before we move on, let's now into what we're gonna do. Let's take a look at what you did this past week. Our week
Yep.
two game of the week recap, which was Sterlington versus Houghton. How'd that shake out?
Yeah, ended up being a good series. We were at the first game, which actually got pushed because of the weather to Friday at Sterlington, and then they played a doubleheader on Saturday at Houghton. Um, Sterlington won that Friday game that we were at, and then they dropped both of the games on Saturday to Houghton. But I know for sure one of the games was decided by one run on Saturday. They may have both been decided by one run. So it was a good series overall. Got to see Christian Turner. He had a good weekend. The Arkansas recruit, the senior,
Yep.
but the guy who I know me and you talked about offline after you saw the video, the guy that really stood out, especially on Friday in his start, was Devin Downs, the sophomore LSU commit. Um, uh, Devin was really good against Houghton, man. He went 5 innings. Think he gave up one earned run, which was on a solo home run. Had 9 punch outs. I think only one walk. Fastball was up to 91. And rarely had to use the breaking ball or changeup, but he did pick up a strikeout with each of those pitches. So Devin looked really good. And again, that was that was on Friday. So, I mean, that was close to freezing
Yeah.
temperatures, probably 38, 40 degrees, right?
Yeah, it looked like
Um,
he just placing the ball in the catcher's glove.
Exactly. Yeah, he was really good, man. It was a really good start, and then that Friday game kind of ended off with a bang. The senior ULM recruit Travis Adams hit the walk off single here in the bottom of the last inning to win that first game for Sterlington. And Travis has been super hot at the plate since that game. He's hit a couple of home runs and like two or three doubles. So yeah, it was a good week two game of the week.
It's awesome. That just the three-game series, man. I know I've said it, it's the best in the regular season. I wish we would have more teams that would do that, just scrape some of these tournaments. So that
Right.
would,
And coach, I'm telling you from talking to other high school coaches in the state, and you can see it with their schedules this year, but I think even next year it's going to be more prominent. I mean, they are moving towards these 3-game series.
yeah. I guess the only thing is just getting the full staff ready. Uh, so
Right. Right. Well, look, it's kind of a double. So like, I've thought about it this way. Most of these schools have a midweek game on like a Tuesday,
that's
and
four. Yeah.
yeah, it's still four. Whereas like the quote unquote old format or how they used to do things, pretty much everybody is you play that midweek plus 4 tournament games Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now it's almost like are you at
Yeah, four is like, yeah, I guess here it's six.
6? Jesus.
Not all, but like our tournament this weekend's every team's playing 6 games in 3 days.
That's a loaded week. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. That Saturday game, Saturday, it was last game Saturday, tend to be, but they're fun. You can find a young kid that
yeah,
get called up that's got a chance in a year or two. So,
yeah.
but yeah, those are fun. Um, who else stood out from last week?
Yeah, so there's quite a few guys that we'll go through. So I got to see Barb against Waxahachie last week. Barb won that game 6-1. And this will probably be the last time that I see Barb for a few weeks or whatever. So it was really good to see the sophomore Lawton Littleton again, because as you know,
Yeah.
his first start against Lutheran South, which I think I think they're a really good, talented, physical, right lineup. Lawton really didn't throw that bad. It was good. I wanted to see how he would respond against Waxahachie, and man, he was really good. Through 6 innings, punched out 11, gave up no earned runs. But the most promising thing or positive thing I took from the outing is just like the intent and the attitude that he pitched with from the start all the way to the finish, right? Like Lawton's such like a low pulse, like even keel type of kid. But I almost felt like against like Lutheran South in week 1 that he didn't come out with enough gusto, if you will, right? And that was definitely not the case last week against Waxahachie. I mean, he came out ready to go from pitch 1. So it's good to see him. JD Alexander, another guy, former future gamer, Texas A&M commit. It was good, man. It's good to see JD back healthy this spring. And he looked really good last Thursday. Went 3 for 3, hit 3 singles, 1 to the pull side, 1 up the middle on a first pitch breaking ball, and then 1 to the backside on a fastball away. So he had a really good day as well. And then moving on to a team that we haven't talked about a lot, because last weekend was my first chance seeing them, Brother Martin, another Catholic League school.
Yep.
Brother Martin was really good last week in the tournament over here. 2 games I got to see them. They beat Waxahachie, and then they beat Sulphur in the nightcap, and both the arms that they threw were really good. This first one, I think you'll appreciate. He's a senior lefty Delgado, excuse me, that's not him. Senior lefty Delgado commit, Jude Tingstrom. So he started against Waxahachie. Coach, fastball was 80 to 81, and I bet you he threw 85 or 90% fastballs.
That's fun.
Right? But, like, he hit the ball really, really well. He was able to go in, was able to go out, up, down, right? Like, he just pitched. And, even though that fastball was 80 to 81, I'm sitting there watching him thinking, man, if you can replicate this, like, you're going to win a lot of games this year for Brother Martin.
Some of the best high school arms I've ever seen are just the thumb and lefties that know who they are, who go in and out, up, down, and keep you off balance.
Yep.
High school kids aren't patient, and they just play into it.
100%, Coach. And he was so look, he was the first guy that I saw. He was really good. And then Cole Navarro in the nightcap against Sulphur was he was spectacular, man. Worked super quick. Just threw a ton of strikes, 3-pitch mix, really likes his breaking ball. Fastball, again, it was freezing cold that night. Fastball was like 83 to 86, but we've seen him up to 88, 89 in the past. He's a UNO recruit. Cole was really good. He's actually swung the bat well. And the other guy I want to make sure I mention for Brother Martin that I was excited to see, uncommitted sophomore Brady McCluskey, center fielder for them, hitting the 3-hole, left-handed hitter. Took some really good swings in the 2 games that I saw, and ended up with a double here on a line drive to left field. Plays with a high motor, kind of in-your-face style. I think he's a DB on the football team, and played a really good center field too. Actually picked up an outfield assist, threw out a kid at third base trying to tag up from center field. So Brady McCluskey was another interesting sophomore that we're for sure gonna keep an eye on. So Brother Martin, Brother Martin was really, really good. And then kind of to finish us off, so Leary and Davis Johnson went up to the Trey Altic tournament up in Monroe. One of the kids that we were excited to see that actually won our Player of the Week award, Koa Romero, sophomore from Hahnville. So, Coach, he hit on last Tuesday. It was either last Monday or Tuesday against Dutchtown. He goes 4 for 4 with 2 bombs. And then up at the Altic on Saturday morning against Opelousas Catholic, he hit this pull side bomb that got out in a hurry at West Monroe. So he hit 3 home runs last week, hit over 500. He's got 4 on the year. Koa is well on his way to potentially hitting double-digit home runs this year as a sophomore. He's been in the top 10 of our rankings ever since we put him out last year for that class. And he's off to a fantastic start this year. And then one more guy that I do want to mention that's actually from last night that Davis saw at the Mandeville Holy Cross game, who we were talking about off air before we jumped on, is a senior, Will Andrade from Holy Cross. So actually heard about Will from our buddy Ben Sheets a couple of weeks ago, like, hey, this may be a guy y'all want to check out. And I'm sure glad that we checked him out last night because it was really good. Up to 92 in the first, was still grabbing 89, 90 later in the game. Showed feel for 2 distinct breaking balls, mid-70s curve, low 80s slider. And, man, he, from talking to Davis, and you could tell from those videos, like, he came out pitching with a purpose and with intent, right?
There's some intensity behind that.
There's some intensity behind it for sure. And he ended up throwing a complete game no-hitter against Mandeville, who's a really, really good team, like coming off of a week where they upset Sam Houston twice over here in Moss Bluff. So he's a really good uncommitted senior arm.
Yeah, that was a fun video. You felt the energy in the video.
Yeah, you could feel it.
Yeah, that's cool. And also Koa Romero. That's a great power hitting name.
Koa. Yeah, Koa.
My name's Koa, and I hit pumps.
And you know what else I like about Koa, Coach, is like you could see from that video, right? Like, I'll play it again real quick. I mean, and he's always hit. It's simple, like
Well, when you're big and have bat speed, you can keep it simple.
True, that's true.
But not everybody does. So good on him.
So good on him.
Yeah, that's fun to watch. All right, so that's the recap. Moving into week 3 here. Are we still in tournament season? We done just straight baseball now?
No, Coach, we're still in tournament season. In fact, I'll have a guy, I believe it's called the Jay Patterson tournament in like the Gonzales, Baton Rouge area.
Beautiful part of the country.
Yeah, they got a tournament going on, but there's still we're still pre-district for another 2
Okay.
weeks.
All right. So we've had some heavy hitters for game of the weeks, and this one just fits the billing again. So what we got?
I know. I mean, Coach, like looking at the schedule, right? It's like I know Catholic was involved in our week 1 game of the week, but I mean, this one was too good not to.
Yeah, 2 versus 3. Like, you don't really have to justify. We are going to change our podcast name to Bayou Buzz, a Catholic and Bard podcast.
You got me on that one. I think there'll be some people in Louisiana who appreciate that, Coach. That's pretty funny. But yeah, look, when I was looking at the schedules, I'm like, man, 2 versus 3. Like, it was a good series last year. Catholic swept them. So we'll see how it goes this year. But yeah, man, like, this was too good of a series to pass up. I'll be there with Leary tomorrow night for game 1, which is at 6:00 at Live Oak. And then Friday is 5:00 at Catholic. And then they'll turn around Saturday at 1:00 back at Live Oak. So that's going to be a really good series. Tomorrow night, we're going to have a really good pitching matchup, more than likely, between two guys that are both undefeated with 2-0 records so far. Sawyer Pruitt, the UL Lafayette recruit, 6'6" right-hander for Live Oak. They're number one. He's 2-0 with 18 punch-outs so far in his 2 starts this year. Beat Barb in week 1. And then you got Lucas Lawrence, who I know we've talked about a couple times. Southern Miss commit. He's 2-0 as well with 10 punch-outs. I believe over 8 2/3 innings pitched so far. So that's going to be a really good pitching matchup to open up the series. And then games 2 and games 3 will be fantastic as well. Both have really good fan bases. I'm sure it'll be rowdy tomorrow night at Live Oak. So
just as we're on the spot, I just thought of a new segment. Pick your prediction. I need you to pick each game, how it goes. Game 1, who wins?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep trying to put you on the spot as much as possible.
Actually, this is a really good idea. So, all right, game 1, we're at Live Oak. I'm gonna say, I'm thinking about games 2 and 3 now. I'm gonna say Live Oak wins tomorrow night. It's a close, probably 1-run, low-scoring game. I'm gonna go with Live Oak.
So so you take Catholic out of the number 1 spot, and now you're picking against them. So
now I'm picking against them.
Okay,
so,
just
sorry,
Barb's out of the Power 25. Catholic this.
Ooh. Oh, I'm gonna get some text messages tonight when this. Yeah. So I'll go I'll go Live Oak game 1. Game 2, I'm thinking it'll probably be Trevor Hodges for Live Oak versus Mills Richardson. Bears, I'll take the Bears at home. Game 2. Game 3, we're back at Live Oak. 1 o'clock. It's probably going to be Zant Gurney for Live Oak against maybe Jake Tompkins from Catholic. I'm gonna go Catholic game 3, and I think
so they take the series.
I'm gonna say 2 of 3.
Now I'm gonna add one more question or one follow-up. If these were all at neutral fields, would you pick it the exact same way?
If these were all, that's a good question. If these were all at neutral fields, would I pick it the exact same way? I think so.
Yeah.
I think I would.
Cool.
Yeah. I like that. Pick them.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
There we go. Maybe we can expand on that and start choosing the top 5 matchups of the week and see how you do every week.
Coach, we should do that. Almost like a
just a weekly pick 'em.
Oh,
we'll choose the 5, and you can have Tyler send in his picks. We'll go and we can keep a weekly total.
No spread, just pick them.
Yeah, no spread, just high school sports.
Yeah, it's high. Yeah. Hope we don't get banned for that or something.
Yeah, no, everything's money line around here.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. So we got a good week.
Yeah, that's a great series. Anything else you want to hit on before we head out?
Trying to think. No, I know we didn't talk about like any of our summer events, but like everything's posted on our website. I'm probably going to add, not probably, I am going to add one more open ID event in the northern part of the state, most likely at Louisiana Tech. I'm just waiting on final confirmation, but outside of that, everything else is posted on our website. I believe top prospect games, like our first initial batch of invites, are going to go out, I believe, either at the end of this week or next week. So be on the lookout for those. If you think you want to attend the top prospect games, send us an invite request. Other than that, I mean, we'll see everybody at the park with better weather.
Yeah. So it looks like just May 27th, first summer event.
Yep. Sam Houston. Yep.
Sam Houston. Okay. Well, perfect, Coach. I think that's all we got. Please like and subscribe to Bayou Buzz on the YouTube channel. Let's keep growing this thing. What else you got? Anything else?
That's it, Coacher. I'm good.
Enjoy the weather. And we'll see y'all next week.
Yep. See y'all next week. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.